Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a part 2 to the Q&A that I did a couple of weeks ago. So in my last Q&A, I had you guys ask questions on my Instagram, but in this Q&A, I had people ask questions on YouTube. So for those of you who don't follow me on Instagram, you had an opportunity to ask questions for this video. So today, I am joined by Cinnamon, and then you can actually see the bunnies behind me because today we are in my living room. So I thought it would be nice to do a Q&A where you're able to see me, a pig, and the bunnies. So hopefully they'll I don't know, do some stuff back there, but they're honestly pretty lazy. They mostly just sleep all day. Meanwhile, he is going absolutely nuts. He's a bit crazy, so I don't know if he was the right pig to choose for this video, but here we are. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the first question. I know, I gotta pull up the questions. All right, so the first question I have today says, are bunnies loud or a lot of work, or is there a system you have that you do every day and that makes it easy? So the bunnies are actually the quietest animals I have ever owned. Bunnies actually don't really make any vocal noises very often. They will thump their feet if they get irritated at something, but in general, they don't make any noise, which was really unnerving for me because I'm used to my pigs making all sorts of noises to communicate with me and share their mood, so I could easily tell how my pigs were feeling. But with the bunnies, they don't make any noise, so I really had to learn their body language. And I read multiple articles on buddy body language and what all of that means. Hi, I'm sorry I'm not talking about you. And then as far as routine goes, I would say the bunnies are less work than my guinea pigs. And that could just be because I have 2 bunnies where I have 7 guinea pigs, but partially it's just because there's less cage cleanup. I only have to clean their litter box every 1 to 2 days. And then I full clean the box once a week. And then I just have to do a little bit of sweeping for the stray poos and then just feeding them. So it's really, I would say, less work than the guinea pigs, but in part, that's because I have more guinea pigs than I do rabbits. So I don't find them difficult to care for at all. I enjoy caring for my bunnies much more than I do caring for my pigs as far as the work goes, just because the pigs, it's a lot of cleaning up poo and it's a lot to do cage cleans, where for the bunnies, it's not quite as much work on that end. But I definitely wouldn't say they're too much work, and I definitely have a good system down. What are you doing? Do you want to sit up here? Maybe this is what he wants. All right, the next question is, have you ever considered trying to train your guinea pigs to do tricks? And I have not considered doing this. I know some guinea pigs learn tricks really well, and I did at one point try a little bit to teach them to spin in a circle, but I don't know, I gave up pretty fast. They care a lot about the food, but they aren't really willing to do tricks for it, and they get kind of frustrated with me. He's really into this. Hi. So I've not really worked very hard on that front to teach them tricks, but I definitely could in the future if I put a more effort into it, but I just haven't spent a lot of time trying to work on that. The next question is, would you own reptiles in the future? So I don't necessarily have anything against owning reptiles, and I actually owned a couple of lizards as a kid, but I just don't think that it's necessarily something that I'm passionate about. I definitely think that I'm capable of caring for a lizard and I could do it. I just don't think it's something that I'm necessarily interested in or passionate about. So I probably will not own reptiles in the future unless my boyfriend decides that he wants to own some type of reptile. I would definitely never own a snake, and I would not be pleased if he wanted to own a snake, just because a lot of times you have to feed them either frozen or live rodents, and that's just not something that I want to witness or want to know is happening. Obviously it's what's necessary to keep them alive, and I don't have an issue with obviously other people need to feed their snakes and that's what they eat and it has to be done, but I just don't want to personally take part in having to feed a snake. I don't know, no oppositions to reptiles, but not something that I'm really interested in. The next question is, how do you balance taking care of your animals as well as going to school and work? And I think the biggest part of that for me was just developing a routine. So I have a routine that I do every morning and evening with them, and if I know that I'm gonna have to be up early in the morning for work and I'm not going to be be able to spot clean in the mornings like I typically do. I'll spot clean in the evenings instead. So it's really just about like being aware of my schedule and knowing that like in the morning when I wake up at 7 a.m. before work, I am not gonna wanna spend time refilling the water bottles or spot cleaning the cages, and I should do that the evening before. But if I don't have class or work till the afternoon, then I will have time for that. And then a large part of the balance is also that I have scheduled my full cage cleans. So every Friday is when I do full cage cleans for all of my guinea pigs. And so I never work Friday evenings just because I know that that is the day that I have to do those cage cleans. And so knowing that I have a dedicated time set aside for that is really good. Last semester, I didn't do that. And so I was just like cleaning the cage whenever I happened to have the time. And it wasn't always the same time every week. And like I wasn't doing laundry consistently, and it was just a bit more hectic. But now I do my laundry every Thursday at the laundromat. And then every Friday I clean all my cages. And so definitely just finding that routine has helped a lot. And also just finally having my pigs' bonds be settled. When I was working to like expand my cages and, you're talking to me? When I was working to like expand my cages and find buddies for all my pigs and bond them, that was really hard to balance with school and work because it was so many changes. But now that I have a routine, it's really not that difficult, and I just know how much time it takes me every evening and every morning, and I just make sure that I'm willing to take that time or set aside that time to be able to do all their care. The next question is, have you ever run into financial difficulties? And have you ever thought you weren't able to provide for your animals? So that isn't something that I have experienced yet. Every time I take in a new pet, I do consider whether I can afford it financially. And I haven't had any issues like not being able to like buy any of the stuff that they need or anything. In addition, I also buy a lot of like extra stuff that they don't need. I buy them a ton of new hides, new toys, stuff that isn't necessarily like necessary for them to live. So if I ever was running into financial difficulties, all I would have to do is like cut back on all the extra stuff and just focus on the basic necessities. But I haven't ever struggled with that. Basically just the more pigs I add, the less stuff I buy for myself, if that makes sense. So I haven't bought myself like a new pair of clothing. Like I haven't bought myself new clothes in literally like 6 months just because I'm spending my money on them and I don't necessarily want to spend that money on me. Like I'm completely fine to spend it all on them. And that's what I do. And in addition, like I do work a lot. I usually work like 20 hours a week, typically like 15 to 20, if not more. So I'm working a decent amount as well as I'm doing YouTube, and I have income from that to care for them. So basically just keeping busy with work and just knowing what I can afford and everything. So I haven't had any difficulties, and I don't expect to have any in the future. I also have savings set aside in case they need to go to the vet or I have an emergency. So I'm not necessarily too worried about any of that. I'm afraid he's gonna like pee in my hand. I've like been thinking about it. You wanna go in there? Maybe he'll go in here and pee in here, because I'm scared he's gonna pee in my hand. All right, we'll try to pet him from this angle. It's a bit of an awkward angle, but it is what it is. This question is, how old are you? I am 20. And then, have you owned any other pets before? So on my own, like living in my own apartment, I have only owned guinea pigs and rabbits. But as a kid, I have a childhood dog. He's still alive. And then we had multiple cats growing up. And then I did own one guinea pig as a kid, and I believe my sister owned a hamster and a gerbil, and then we also had like fish and, like I mentioned earlier, some different kinds of like lizards. We had like green anoles and stuff, but for me on my own, that have been like my own pets in my own apartment, my own like living space, it's only been the guinea pigs and the rabbits. Next question is, how is keeping bunnies? Is it easy or as you expected? And what are some tips you would give to people who want bunnies? So I have really enjoyed owning bunnies. For me, it has not been difficult at all. And I think that's partially because their care is somewhat similar to guinea pigs. There's definitely a lot of like major differences, but overall they have quite a similar diet. So I was already used to like what kinds of veggies I would feed and then how much veggies I would feed. And then the main differences are just, for me, learning, like I mentioned earlier, like learning their behavior and like learning how they communicate. I've really enjoyed it. I think I got very lucky. My bunnies are very laid back. They're not destructive. They're really not even that active. I've given them like a ton of toys. You can't see, but like over here, there's a ton of stuff in the living room for them to do. And I mostly hear them like out at night. So I know they're like playful at some hours, but they mostly do sleep. Haven't destroyed anything besides the cardboard stuff I've given them. The only thing I've had is Luna continuously pees right in front of the litter box. So instead of peeing in it, she just pees right in front of it, which it's not that bad. I just put like a pee pad or like a bath mat down there. And I'm trying to continue to work on that, but that's the only issue I've had. So I don't have any issues with them, but I would definitely, people who want bunnies, I would definitely say that like they need a lot of space. Like I have had them in the pen, and the pen was 24 square feet. And then I just still didn't feel like that was enough space. And so I've been doing a lot of free roam with them, but I think definitely just being aware of their space needs. And also that they just need more enrichment. He apparently was done in there and wants to come back. Hi. They just definitely need a lot more enrichment because they are like smarter animals. So definitely just making sure that I like give their pellets to them in some sort of like foraging enrichment matter and just keeping them busy and occupied. But I mean, overall, they've been great and I haven't had really any issues. Next question is, do you worry that your bunny bond will break? So I don't have any worries about that at all. My bunnies are 4 years old. They are actually brother and sister, both fixed, and they have been practically bonded since birth. I would imagine the only time they weren't together were probably when they were getting fixed. So I don't expect their bond to ever break. They're extremely bonded. I mean, they have a very calm bond. I think they're almost like equals in matters of their bond. They both groom each other a lot. They also both occasionally mount each other. It hasn't happened in a while, but when I first took them home in like the new space, they did each like take turns mounting each other, but it wasn't anything major, nothing to be worried about. And they haven't really done it a lot since, now that I think about it. So I don't have any worries about their bond. They're very bonded, and male and female bunnies are often like the best combination. And that's what I have. And they're also sisters. I mean, they're brother and sister, they're siblings. So I don't have any worries about that. Oh, he's licking my hand. Hi, are you licking me? That's so nice. What other questions do we have? And then, have you thought about socializing your bunnies? So I'm not exactly sure what this question means. I'm assuming you mean like with myself, and I do spend a lot of time with my bunnies. I will sit on the floor next to them. I will pet them. I brush them. I feed them. I hand feed them, all of that kind of stuff. So I definitely like socialize with my bunnies, and my boyfriend does as well. The next question is, have you thought about getting ferrets? And I actually have thought about owning ferrets in the future, just because I think they look like really fun, like personable pets. But at the moment, no, just because ferrets are they're predator animals, and they would view both the guinea pigs and bunnies as like prey. Whether they would actually hurt them probably depends on the individual ferret, but I would say it's definitely just way too risky to have that kind of animal in the space that I am currently. And I've also heard some people who own both saying that like if the rabbits or the guinea pigs can smell the ferrets, that sort of like is very stress inducing for them, because they are like a natural predator and they can smell that, and that just stresses them out. So at the moment, no. If I ever own them in the future, I would definitely want like a house with maybe like 2 stories, or like a two-level apartment or a townhome, something like that, where the bunnies and guinea pigs could be on one floor and the ferrets could be on the other. Just because, in addition, like ferrets are very similar to rabbits in the way that they need a lot of space and they do need free roam time. And so obviously those free roam areas could not overlap, because the smells would be frightening for the bunnies, and it would just like make them very stressed and scared. So they're both animals that require a lot of space. And at the moment, I could not have both and provide them enough space and keep them safe and keep them not stressed and keep them like far away from each other in this apartment. It's not like an animal that I'm like definitely planning to own, but it is something that I would consider in the future if I felt that I had enough space and I felt that I had the right sort of apartment layout to like accommodate their needs. This next comment says, after the first guinea pig video of yours I watched, I looked at your other videos and I saw you didn't start off as a pet YouTuber, and I've always wondered what made you decide to start making videos, and what was your original plan for your channel, and how did it transition to guinea pig care? And also, are you happy with the direction it's gone? So that is a big question packed into one, but definitely when I started this YouTube channel, I did not even own guinea pigs. I think like my first video on here is like a makeup haul, which is funny because I literally barely even like wear makeup anymore. But that was my first video on here. And when I started this channel, I originally just planned for it to be like a lifestyle, like beauty blog, vlog type of channel, because I didn't even own any pets at that point. He's decided he's done. Do you want to go back in there? And then when I adopted my first 2 guinea pigs, Peanut and Marshmallow, I just decided to make like a cage tour video on them because I'd seen a bunch of other people do it and I just thought it would be fun. So I just did like a short little video sort of introducing them and showing my cage at the time. And that video literally got like more views than any of my other videos had. And so I was just sort of like impressed by that. And there were a lot of people like commenting, like saying that they loved the video and they would love to see more of my guinea pigs. And so that was just really reaffirming for me because not many people had watched like my previous like lifestyle videos at all. And so like having people comment that they were interested in my videos, that they wanted to see more, just really like inspired me to continue to create guinea pig content. At the start, I did originally try to like include other, like he's digging. Where are you trying to go? At the beginning, I did try to include like other like lifestyle vlog videos, and I haven't really done that so much recently just because I've had so much like pet updates to share. But I would definitely say that I'm happy with the way my channel has gone. I don't think I would have had enough content ideas just doing, oh my gosh, hi. Just doing like lifestyle videos. I just don't think that I would have been able to like continue that and like have enough interesting stuff going on to keep sharing it. But I definitely really enjoy doing guinea pig videos. But I really enjoy doing guinea pig videos and doing bunny videos and making pet content. And so I'm definitely pleased with the way my channel has gone. I would also like to include more like vlogs of like my life and more lifestyle things. But I don't necessarily feel that like I want to do that more than the guinea pig stuff. I definitely think that all of the pet videos is definitely my passion and definitely what I enjoy. And so I'm glad that I figured that out before I got too into YouTube and that I figured out that was the direction I wanted my channel to take because I'm definitely happy about it. Next question is, are you ever going to fully free roam your bunnies? And the answer is yes, they're actually fully free roaming right now. So they have been fully free roaming for almost a week now. Like I said earlier, they have been super great, not destructive at all. So we've just been letting them fully free roam like during the night and everything, just because we weren't really seeing a reason to lock them up in the pen if they weren't being destructive and they weren't like destroying anything. None of the furniture, none of the walls. Should probably knock on wood just to make sure that they don't start destroying things. But so far they've been great. So we saw no reason to keep doing the pen. So they've been fully free roam for about a week. And I still have the pens in case that like maintenance people come over, or like if I have a pet sitter and I want to like put them in one section of the living room. We are currently doing full free roam. I'm very excited about it. I'm very pleased that it was such an easy transition and I could start fully free roaming them so soon. I definitely got lucky with them, so I'm very pleased about that. Next question is, what are your plans for the future career-wise? So currently I am a junior in college and I'm majoring in advertising and public relations. So I definitely want to go into a career that definitely has something to do with advertising or marketing or PR, stuff like that. Hi, Luna. And just let you guys know, while I am sitting here with Cinnamon in the living room, my guinea pigs and bunnies never have any contact. I do just want to make that clear since in this video I am holding him while the bunnies are there, but they never have any contact. I wash my hands in between caring for the bunnies and caring for the guinea pigs. So I don't even like touch one and then touch the other. I wash my hands in between. They don't share any items unless they've been washed. Just to make sure you guys know that, since in this video I suppose it could be a little misleading since I'm holding him and they're back there, but I just do want to reference that I never have them together, and I'm very careful to wash my hands and stuff just to reduce any disease transmission. But back to the question, I forgot what I was saying a little bit. In the future, I would definitely love to do PR, advertising, marketing work for possibly a nonprofit. That would be like really great for me to be able to not just do advertising for a company, but for like a nonprofit that has a mission and that has a positive outlook and that's trying to like do some sort of change in the world. And I think that that is what I would like to do. Obviously, there's no guarantee that I'll be able to get that kind of job right after I graduate, or if that kind of job will make enough money. So it really just depends. I've got another 1.5 years of school, so I've got a bit to figure it out, but I'm definitely going to continue doing YouTube as well. So while I am like looking for a career in my major, I'm also planning to continue doing my YouTube channel. So do not worry, me and the pigs and the bunnies will all still be here. All right, so this is the last question that I'm going to answer. I got a ton more questions here, so I may even do a part 3. Let me know if you guys are interested, but this last question is again sort of like multiple questions in one. So it says, how much attention should you give a guinea pig? And is it okay to downsize a cage for convenience? And do guinea pigs get lonely if you don't spend much time with them? For definitely the part about the attention and them getting lonely if their owners don't spend time with them, I always say that's completely personality based. So I have guinea pigs that literally, what are you doing? Where are you going? Do you want to go back? He's being very confusing. But I have guinea pigs who literally could care less about me. They don't want to be pet. They hate being picked up. They will maybe settle down for lap time, but the anxiety of like me picking them up is just a lot for them. If your guinea pig like enjoys being held, enjoys being pet, definitely make an effort to do those things and to spend time with it. But if your guinea pig is not really a fan of being held or being pet, that's something you could either choose to work on or just choose to let them be. For me personally, just because I have so many, if my guinea pigs don't want to be held or pet, I don't force them to. I don't really work on that with them. I think a lot of them are completely content to like take food from me and interact with me in that way without being pet or held. It depends on what your personal preference is, but I mean, definitely spend time with your guinea pig if it wants your time and it wants your attention. For me, that's what I do. If my pigs want to be pet, I pet those ones, and if they don't, then I don't, because for me, it's not about the interaction. It's just about being able to care for them and watch them. Really up to you. And then they definitely won't get lonely without your company, I wouldn't think, just because they need the company of another guinea pig. And while some of them may definitely appreciate your company, personally, I'm not sure they would get lonely without people. Definitely up to you to make that discretion, but I feel like the majority of my guinea pigs that live together would not get lonely without me in any way. They probably just want me there for food and the occasional pet, and that's really it. But definitely just like monitor your own guinea pig's behavior and figure out those things for yourself, because it definitely is like an individual case-by-case basis. Is it okay to downsize a cage for convenience? I would say no. I'm not sure what the situation would be where you would need to downsize a cage. If you have space for a large cage, use that space. Don't make it smaller. If your guinea pigs are used to living in a larger cage and you decide to downsize it for your own convenience, that's just going to be really upsetting for them when they're used to having this larger amount of space when you downsize it. They're just not going to be pleased with that. So I would definitely say don't downsize your cage for convenience. If you need to take them on vacation and you need to make a smaller vacation cage setup, that would be fine, obviously. But if this is their permanent living area and you're downsizing it just to make it easier to like clean or something, I would definitely advise against that, because they will get very used to having that space. And also, it just doesn't make much sense to me. If you're able to provide your pigs with more space, I would do that. He is loving this. Hi. Definitely don't downsize your pig's cage just for your own convenience. Give them as much space as you can. And if you already have a larger cage, don't downsize unless you're moving and absolutely have to. There's not really a good reason to downsize. But that is the last question that I'm going to be doing for this video, just because I've been recording for over 30 minutes. I definitely have a lot more questions, and so let me know down below if you guys would like to see a part 3 to my Q&A videos and which pig you would like me to hold next. Also vote down there below which pig you'd like to see next. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did, and subscribe to see more Q&As, more guinea pig, and more bunny content. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.